we've been wanting to get you on here for a while, and there were delays with your school and
Yep.
everything else. This is Miss
Hmm.
Rebecca, and recently you just went through the hurricane, right?
Yes, indeed. It's quite interesting.
So, did you guys have like any warnings or anything, or like,
um, well, right before the flooding happened, um, we did get alerts to our phone and like on social media. Like if you're subscribed to the news alerts on your phone, it said to evacuate if you lived by the river within 2 miles. And that really did kind of cover the devastation area because nobody outside of the 2 miles like got any like I mean people got flooding from the rain obviously, like even my basement flooded, but like
did it?
nobody's house washed away or anything within outside of the 2 miles of the river or anything like that. So
So, is your
we
house
did.
is your house like built into a hillside, or
I actually live in the city limits. So the Nolichucky River is, I looked it up, and I live 2.7 miles from the river where I actually live. So I was out of like the danger zone of the flood, but I drove by the night or the evening it was happening, the afternoon that the flood warnings went out, and I saw all kinds of people like moving away from the river cuz I live near what they call the Jones Bridge Road. That's the closest that's kind of like my little drive through the country route. I drive through the country all the time. But that's the closest river access to my house. And I drove by there that evening when it was flooding really bad. Like that's when I saw the helicopters evacuate everybody off of the rooftops from the Unicoi Hospital up in Irwin and stuff. And that whole hospital was like underwater. And I'm like, oh shit, that's coming down this way. That's the same river.
yeah, yeah,
So I was
Nola
like,
Chucky?
oh my, do what?
You said the Jones Bridge.
Yeah, the Jones Bridge Road.
Yeah.
That's the road. That's the bridge. That's right. That's the one that's closest to my house. So I was just being nosy. I'm not gonna lie. To see how
No, no way.
flooded that was. Plus, one of my friends that needed something at work, that helps me out with my kids and stuff, works right by there. So I took him some dinner and stuff, and it was just kind of nosy and like drove by, and the whole it was flooded all the way up to way past the bridge. The bridge was underwater, and there were cops everywhere, like just blocking off the bridge and stuff. So I knew, like, and that was after the Irwin Highway Bridge had already collapsed.
Irwin Highway Bridge, yeah, on 26, right?
Um,
Because I know the
mm,
one bridge at like Chistoa, well, not Chistoa State Park. It's I forget the name of the state park, but you got Chistoa, and then you got Uncle Johnny's Hostel right there along the Appalachian Trail,
yeah, those were gone too. Yeah, those were already gone.
and then
No,
uh,
this one was the one in Greene County that collapsed.
what's in Greene
That's
County.
Highway 70, I'm wanting to say. The one that goes out to Irwin. That's the Irwin
Oh,
Highway.
the back road. That's 107.
Yeah, the back road. Yeah, that goes. Oh, yeah, 107. I'm sorry. Yeah,
7.
not 70. 107. You're right. That goes out to the farmer's daughter
Yeah.
and Washington County and all that. Yeah, that had already collapsed. I watched a video of that. I'm like, oh my God.
And then
So,
like that one road that like after you go over all the bridges like Love Bridge and everything, when you get
mm-hmm,
before you get into Irwin and you go up that hill where they have
mm-hmm.
it's called the Devil's Face. I guess that whole
Yeah,
road is just gone. It's just like
I know.
vanished.
I, I finally went up. So the Jones Bridge held because we were worried it was going to collapse too. I finally went over it today. It is insane because there was like a cornfield before you got to the bridge, and all that's washed out, and it's nothing but like dead trees and old buildings. There was a whole. I don't even know how it was intact. I couldn't take pictures because I was driving, obviously, But and there's
I've
all
even
kinds of government. No, there's all kinds of government. There's all kinds of government vehicles out there and cops and shit at the bridge, all the bridges right now, so you can't stop and do shit. But there was like a whole ass barn on the right side of the bridge. I don't even know how it was still intact, but it was like all, I mean, it was like collapsed, but it was still like mostly in pieces. I guess it had a metal roof or something that like maybe kept it in pieces or something.
yeah.
But it was like a red barn. I was like, oh my god! And all the guardrails are all, the metal's all bent up, and then like just it looks like a metal sculpture.
Didn't the Jones Bridge? All right, so I'm getting confused about the whole Jones Bridge because I'm thinking like
It's what goes out to Greystone from Greenville.
okay, so say you go past like say you're on the main place, like you go past Chick-fil-A, you're heading towards Walmart, right? You pass Walmart, you got the traffic light, you make a right,
Yeah.
and then you go to get on 107. It's that bridge, right before the gas station.
No, that's the bridge that collapsed, the Irwin Highway Bridge. Um, the that's the one that collapsed.
Okay.
The Jones Bridge is the one. Um, you're going like near where kind of near where Hardin Park is, but you go out like towards um Greystone and Camp Creek.
Yeah, yeah.
That's that bridge.
Okay. So
So
how
that's the one closest to my house.
so do you know where that little beach is out there? Well, I call it a beach. It's in
Yeah,
Greenville.
that's Bird's Bridge.
What bridge is
That's
that?
where that guy drowned.
What is it? Bird
That's
Bridge?
where that guy drowned. That's Bird's Bridge.
Bird's Bridge. Okay. I was wondering if that was still intact.
Yes, that is still intact too, but I think it is still closed because they're still clearing it out. It's still like buried, I believe, last I heard.
Because there's been
It's not
times
right now.
I used to camp down there, but there was a few storms, and I seen the water get as high as that bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Whole parking lot,
It,
the
it,
pit
it's
flooded.
last pictures I saw, it was pretty much buried, and they're having to like dig it all out because the boat ramp's there. But that's where that guy drowned. Um, that was that's right now that we know of. That's the only fatality out of Greene County.
Okay.
He was a nurse at the hospital. He was out with his dog and his girlfriend on a boat,
To save,
and
right?
yeah, he saved this man. Yeah, and his girlfriend was okay, but his poor little dog, um, they found, I guess, downriver with his boat. Um, and then of course they found him down at near Allen's Bridge on down the river.
Allen's Bridge. That's like past the dam.
No, that's been a misconception. But no, it's not. It's not over the dam. It's right before you get to the dam.
Okay, okay. Yeah, because
Yeah,
I thought this was the last one before the dam.
it is the last one before the dam. Yeah, it was like in a cove area. Where they found him from. There was like a map on the news,
So,
but it's really really sad.
so how was all the like government response, like them responding? Because I know a lot of the citizens were upset, and then there was a whole bunch of people on TikTok trying to get in, and I could understand they don't want people flooding it because it's gonna make it more hectic for the search. But it seemed like they wasn't, you know, seemed like they're fucking off.
Well, not here because not here that didn't happen here in Greene County because I got to say the search parties there was I even went out one day myself with a friend and looked for Boone. Of course I'm not the most physically capable person since I've been sick and stuff, but I did go one day when I was feeling okay and look myself. I went a little too far. I went down um around the Newport Highway, but everything else was kind of blocked off. So um that's the only place I could really like get to without having to like go over a bunch of stuff I couldn't like maneuver over. But anyways, here nor there.
Um,
Um
to me,
uh
I was like depressed because I used to basically live down at Chistoa and Irwin, but then
yeah.
seeing everything and like it seemed like everybody needed help. And the day before that, I was gonna leave here and go back down there, but I couldn't
Mhm.
finish situated with my car, and then that happened. But then I was getting like mixed things because I got people that live in Kingsport, and they're like, "Oh no, everything's fine," and I'm like, "What?" But
Well, okay, so in Greene County, we have not had the. I know what you're talking about. So here, no government anything interfered with any searching for anybody because we really only truly had one person reported missing, and all civilians. Um, that was mostly civilian led, the search parties, but we did, there was a lot of help from government agencies too, because they were looking also the TWRA, the Wildlife
yeah,
Response Agency, as well as the sheriff's department. So everybody was, well on board, and the sheriff's department was doing many other things. They were all hands on deck with everything. And I gotta say, our local government has been great. You know me, I'm not a super fan of the government or the cops or whatever. But I will give credit where credit's due. They have been great, and so is our mayor. And they've been very transparent with everything. But where the problems have been, from everything I've heard, because I do know a lot of people in Western North Carolina, has been Western North Carolina. Um,
Green
actually,
Mountain.
Greenville. Yeah, the state police actually shut down because okay, you got to think 26 Interstate 26 is shut down the border because it's impassable.
Yeah,
40 they may have opened it now, but at first, this
well,
was at first.
from
And 40's also shut down. So highway set I think it's State Route 25 um that goes over the mountain from
Creek
Marshall
Bridge
to Greenville. Yeah. That's the only road that's open from
goes
North Carolina to Tennessee right now, right? And they can't get there's no power in Asheville or the surrounding areas. So the only place they really have to do any business or come get anything is here. Well, there for a while, the not on the Tennessee side, but the North Carolina side, because the road was so dangerous for semi trucks, etc. North Carolina decided to shut down um, the their border. So that's where a lot of the upset has come. And then two, you know, some of the roads in Western North Carolina are completely impassable. And then I have seen videos. These are just videos. Take this with a grain of salt. I can't confirm, deny. These are just videos I've seen, though, out of Western North Carolina about, people not being able to get helicopters that they need because, these are coming from civilians. That, they're responding to these people and they've had, calls for needs to, get to people that are stuck and stranded and have medical needs or, urgent needs, etc., but they're being told by, you know, government agencies, whether it be local or federal, that they literally just can't fly over there and they can't do that, and that they'll be arrested if they do.
I
So, I mean,
I understand some aspects of it because of the air traffic and everything else, and then if they're
yeah,
having people come in, but and I'm sure they use their
some of
regulations.
this was before FEMA even
Well,
like started.
I heard somebody from FEMA, like a higher up, got beat up or something.
I
Had to
saw that
put their
post
hands
on
on 'em.
social media. That's all I saw. I don't know if that's true or not.
So now what I'm hearing
I
is
saw that post too,
that
but I mean, I don't know.
I'm hearing like East
I
Tennessee is kind of like a wasteland for plastic water bottles now because there's so much water that they're like, please stop bringing water.
it's we have well because these people and I think it's amazing. We have had so many donations.
Hmm.
In my spa that I work for, we know that Greenville, specifically Greenville, because Greenville's not a huge town, but it's got a lot of space, right? There's a lot of churches here, there's a lot of land. We've had such an outpouring of just generous people and donations and people just coming in from everywhere. This was before the government agencies even hit. I mean, people are like, what can we do? and besides local people, these are people from all over the country coming and just setting up camp here and then going over to, going over the mountain daily and just taking supplies over the mountain,
Yeah,
to western North Carolina. And it's amazing. We're so really oversupplied with stuff that my spa, we're not even like, not that we're saying, oh, Greenville's got enough, nobody needs anything, because if somebody needs something,
yeah.
we'll give it to them, of course. But we're just like we're collecting stuff for western North Carolina because they're just hit so bad. One of my brand representatives lives in Asheville, and she said that their water treatment center, whatever, not only supplies Asheville, but Black Mountain, Swananoa, Marshall, I think. It was like four different towns, and they're not anticipating getting their water restored until November.
I believe it.
That's
Does Does anybody have anything on like hot springs? Because I haven't heard anything about hot springs.
Hot Springs
Or
was annihilated. One of my friends has been over to Hot Springs about 4 or 5 times, and has been taking supplies. Um, from just donations she's collected in her personal vehicle and stuff. And there's several other people, from here, like churches and stuff, that just takes stuff over to Hot Springs because it's so close.
yeah,
Um, but Hot Springs completely, absolutely wiped out. Like all those little restaurants that were downtown on that little square, they're gone. They're just gone. It's so sad, and the resort's gone. It's
resort's gone
horrible.
too.
Do what?
The resort's gone too.
Yeah, I mean, I the building might still be there, but I saw pictures of all the uh all the little those little huts, where they have the hot tubs and stuff. They're all washed away. They're all gone.
Yeah, because
And that road that went from Paint Creek all the way to Hot Springs, where Paint Rock is and stuff, that's gone. That road's gone.
oh wow.
So you can't get to Hot Springs the back way anymore.
Yeah, I just been sitting back and I fucking like I was kind of getting depressed because it was just so devastating, right? And a lot like Greenville, Irwin, Elizabeth, and Mountain City. I was living in Mountain City before I left, and
Yeah.
like I had my exhaust welded Wednesday, and I was gonna leave that Friday because I had to come down and see some people and do some things. And then like that day or something, I woke up and I seen it. I was like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "This is insane."
Mhm.
And then I first thing I seen was my buddy sent me a picture of the Barbarossa underwater in Newport, Tennessee.
Yeah.
I was like, "What the hell?" And then I got online and I seen people standing on the hospital in Unicoi. I'm like,
Mhm.
and come to find out, my
The
friend worked there and she said all of them managed to be completely dry somehow.
Mhm.
So they all stayed dry. That was good, but that was just devastating. I was like,
And then those poor people that were in that plastic factory in Irwin, I believe 6 of them died
mm-hmm.
because they the story from that's on the news from the employees was is that they were not allowed to go home that morning.
Yeah, that's what I heard, and I seen that
Yeah.
on the news.
So, and that's absolutely sick.
Hmm. That's gonna be a big lawsuit, you know. And my thing is like, even now when I work places, this is my job. I respect it. I need a job to survive.
Mhm.
If I have a bad feeling about something or something, I'm going home to my family, to my dog, to myself, to my prop. You know, like you're not holding me here. If you're gonna get rid of me, get rid of me. But
Exactly. No job's worth your life. But what's really sad is from my understanding is and from the talk, amongst the locals, is some of those individuals were Latino, and they didn't quite understand, there was quite a language barrier there, and things weren't quite communicated effectively.
yeah,
So that's another thing. Even the governor said, he's like, "Oh, well, we didn't know there was a Latino community in this area." Like, that's pretty tone deaf, if you ask me. But
Hmm.
whatever.
Yeah, that's kind of
Like, you're the governor, you should know who's where. There's
there's
a large
a
Latino
large
population in
Latino
Tennessee.
community. That's why when
Yes.
the vice president said, "Oh well, we need to get into mountains and or something to help the colored people first," I was like, "Do you realize how many colored people live in those mountains? Like it just ain't all whitey mighty up in those mountains.
No. And that's what's bothering me though,
Very
is like there have been I'm not like okay, people around here would call me liberal. Around here,
Mhm.
people would call me liberal, right? A liberal person would call me a conservative.
Mhm.
So I'll just say so I'll just roll with it and say I land somewhere in the middle. And truly I probably do, because I don't like extremism on one side or the other, right?
Yeah,
Because I feel like I have more in common with everybody than I do different, right? But I'll tell you what has put such a bad taste in my mouth, and what I can't what I've really not been able to stand here on social media here lately, is all these really extreme, I'm talking extremist liberal people, saying that everybody here in Appalachia is bigoted and backwoods, and they deserve it because we're all fucking racist, and these are all sundown towns,
uh,
and just wipe them off the map. And it's like Asheville was one of the most devastated towns, and that's like
it's also
the Hollywood of the South,
yeah,
you
it's the
idiots.
worst city I've ever been to, Asheville.
You can go topless in Asheville. Like, that's legal. I could have my tits out in Asheville. Like, are you kidding me? That's nothing but a bunch of That's like Portland of the South. Are you like
Yeah, that there you go, you nailed it.
that's the
Asheville
most
is so
ignorant thing.
yeah. Just like when I was there in Johnson City, my cousin, him and his wife, it was like their first year anniversary. Now my cousin, he's a black man.
Yeah,
His wife's black. I was like, dude, you're in Virginia. I'm over here. He's like, I want to visit you. I said, come. He said, dude, we can't go there, man. I'm black. I said, dude, I'm so sick of hearing that shit. Like Johnson City, plenty of black, plenty of Spanish.
exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
working at Salsa's. Salsa's is a Mexican restaurant. This is the most diverse place I've been. And like, yeah, there's a little,
Yeah, Johnson City's really liberal too. Exactly.
but you don't
Like,
hear a lot of race slanders or people talking
no.
derogatory about other people.
Mm-mm.
You know?
That's so for people to reduce this area, and it was such a big area that was affected too. Like, it was a large area that was affected. It wasn't just this one little racist town that was hit. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Well, just like
this was a hundreds of miles was affected.
well,
Like,
West Jefferson, outside of Mountain City in North Carolina, right? What's that like?
yeah, and parts of like even South Carolina and Augusta, Georgia.
Gothic
Like,
too.
yes, Augusta's been without power for like 2 weeks.
But like
One of my friends found. Mm-hmm.
West
And he's Asian. He's Asian.
West Jefferson, I was there and I was working at a restaurant, right? Most of the one black family in town, they have a farm.
Yeah.
Everybody knows them, but when this thing came and they started saying all this racist shit, like what the fuck? Like I don't know. I've never really experienced people being racist out in either East Tennessee or Western North Carolina. That's and I've experienced it a lot throughout my life, bouncing around, talking to people. People get comfortable with you. They say,
That's what I'm like. There's so many racists in Baltimore. Like,
yeah,
people.
mhm.
But
Is
I
it
mean,
black
but let's not talk
racist,
about
Spanish
that.
racist, you know?
There's racist people everywhere.
Hell, don't go to
So, like I'm
Ohio.
saying, for people to be so ignorant and to reduce this area and the hurricane to that we deserve it, and that we're just a bunch of ignorant hicks, it just pisses me off.
Yeah,
Just pisses me off.
I thought that was very uneducated and distasteful for
Yes, it's like you're doing the same, you're doing the thing that you're saying, you're being uneducated and stupid and ignorant like you claim that we are. Like, fuck all the way off.
my first job when I got
Sorry,
my first
that's
job
my little.
in Tennessee was with
Mm.
Javier and his wife. You know Javier from Salsas?
Yeah,
They hired me every day. Would sit down, eat as a family. They were gonna go to Vegas one year. They're like, Roberto, you come with us, Vegas. I'm like, they're like, yeah, you family. I'm like, no, no, man. But great
Yeah.
people. But I don't know. I just thought that was so crazy when Kalama was saying that. I'm sure they're. I understand what she's saying, but it's like, dude, like you don't understand. Besides all the people that work on the farms, there's a lot of mixed families,
Mhm.
and I don't know. I just never experienced it down there, and I've never heard anybody talk openly about their
I have.
religious beliefs. Not like
I
other,
have,
not
but
like other places
just
though.
but not that much. Not as much as I have like other places in America.
That's what I'm saying. Like other places, they're open.
Like,
They sit right there at the table at the restaurant, like
yeah, I mean, me as a cis white woman, and people being comfortable saying that shit around me, like I've heard it. I've lived all around the East Coast, and so I've heard whatever people feel comfortable saying around somebody that looks like me all around this country.
yeah.
And the South ain't no different than anywhere else. We just talk a little
Oh, what?
cuter.
You got a little twang in your little
Yeah,
twang.
that's about it. That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, when I first moved down there, I had a bald head, and everyone thinks because my tattoo on my face, they think, oh, like racist. But no one ever said anything.
I mean, the
I go to
South, if
show,
you want to get
I go to show every
technical, the
party.
South
Like,
is the most diverse place, is the most diverse area of the country.
yeah, I love it down there. I miss it so much, and it's just so
Yeah,
devastating what happened. And then
it's so sad.
farmer's daughter, I hear they're giving out like free food and everyone, and they've been taking care of
Mhm.
meals and
Yeah, I haven't like went and got any free food or anything, so I feel like I don't like need it. But I'm
that's
just
good,
like, I think it's really nice. I've been trying to share on social media, like, you know, everywhere that has been doing it and stuff, because it is. I did like, when we didn't have any water, I did go to a friend of a friend and like use their well water because being without water sucked. But people, I mean, I just counted my blessings because a lot of people have it a lot worse. So,
Yeah, it's just crazy what happened out there. I will say this. Hopefully now a lot of those yupsters and everybody moved back to where they came from because when I moved there, I think there was 66,000 people in Johnson City. Like that was their census. When I left,
hmm,
it was like 123,000, and this was only in a few years. I was like, whoa, that grew a lot.
that's a lot. Yeah. I didn't know that many people lived in Johnson City.
It's about like 125, 126 now. And then them driving up all the housings, like it was crazy. When I moved there, you could get a nice house for $500 renting.
The housing here, a house, a 3 bedroom house is like 400 grand.
Yeah, it's insane because everyone, I guess, California, everyone sold there, moved here,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was like bidding wars. So like besides that, like I know there was a lot of people on the news, well not the news, but they're saying, well everyone's talking about Johnson City and everyone's talking about Asheville. And my idea was on it. They're just using that because those are known cities, right? So they're just using that as a identification
Yeah.
marker. And they're like, what about the
Yeah.
small towns? And I'm like, oh, like I can understand the concern from people, but they're like, why is Johnson City getting all this help? And I'm like, I think they're just using that as a reference.
Yeah. And like, yeah, because I mean, well, Asheville truly is really bad.
Yeah,
Um, for sure. Greenville, parts of Greene County are really bad too. Just just certain parts. Not the whole county or anything. Newport was really really bad. Parts of Newport, not the whole county or anything.
yeah, right on the front
Um,
broad.
but yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, I think it's just because they're bigger, more well known towns and areas and stuff. Because nobody knows where Bat Cave is, or Flag Pond, or Butler, or Hampton, or nobody knows those towns.
Yeah.
Um, the 101st Airborne is here in Green. Greenville. They're like stationed here right now. Not the whole unit, of course, but a little uh subsidy, I guess. I'm probably not using the right words, obviously, but a little branch of their unit is here. They've deployed to help. Obviously, mostly Western North Carolina, where you can't and play in probably parts of Unicoi and stuff that you can't access by vehicle. They've taken. There's been Chinooks take jeeps over the mountain,
Mm-hmm.
but they're using the whole Greenville airport because that's not an airport you use
Forgot
to
to have the
fly out of.
airport. Yeah.
But there's I don't think they're Apaches. I think they're Blackhawks. Because I think an Apache's a strike helicopter, but I think they're Blackhawks and Chinooks. But anyways, they're using that as their like big station to have all their crap and take supplies and equipment and all their stuff over the mountain and stuff. So it's really cool, like seeing all the air traffic all this week and stuff.
So can
It's
you
really neat.
say if you go like Greenville, like Asheville Highway, old Asheville Highway, can you
Hmm.
follow that out and go through the switchbacks and get into North Carolina that way?
Yeah, yeah, you can. I don't know if North Carolina has reopened their side. They will let you go if you have supplies and a contact over the border, which I'm in a couple of the rescue groups from where I looked for Boone that one day. Um but which I'm not going over the mountain to North Carolina right now. My car needs new brakes.
Yeah.
And also, I'm afraid to even take my car because I would prefer, if I were to go over there, to have a four-wheel drive because I really don't know how the mountain is right now. Because they are recommending, side by sides or four-wheel drives. So I just wouldn't trust to take my car over there right now. Regardless, but if you do have like a contact and you're taking needed supplies over there, they will let you go across the state lines also. But they won't just let somebody just willy nilly, oh,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, I also
going to
heard
Orangefield.
all the shop owners are armed and ready to go too, which I don't blame them.
Yeah.
You said your spa was collecting like donations and stuff. Are they doing anything else, like any type of benefits that we could add in here, or like do they
Oh,
have
yeah.
that
Yeah. Thank you.
or
We're doing a blood drive. I believe it's October 21st.
okay.
We're doing a blood drive and collecting. We're collecting winter stuff at this point because it's starting to get cold, especially up there in the mountains and stuff. So we're gonna collect winter clothes.
No,
And the
just
farmers market on the Depot Street Farmers Market, that's real well known here in town, is also co-sponsoring that event with us. And I think it's the Medic Bloodmobile is going to be there. So
do you have like any flyers or pictures or like things of this stuff
yeah, I shared it on my Facebook. You can
on there and get
snag it
them in there?
there.
And then if people can mail stuff or Cash App or however you guys want to do it. I don't know if you guys can pick up like Walmart orders maybe if someone put in like a Walmart order and I don't
Oh yeah, we could do
know.
that or do like a we could I could talk to my boss tomorrow. I'm going to a meeting actually with the co-sponsor of the event. She'll be there. It's a like a women's business meeting for around town. And I could see about maybe if we could like put up an Amazon wish list or something.
Okay. Yeah.
That maybe
You
put together something like that.
go to or
Yeah.
and try to get you guys some kind of donations and
Okay. That'd be great.
that's if anybody even sees this, but I wanted to touch base with somebody I know from Eastern Tennessee that has feet on the ground and actually knows what's going on because TikTok's a hit and miss. Then people saying like girls are getting kidnapped, all this and anything for people to talk and get some kind of recognition or fame, right? Or
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, let me know tomorrow and then we'll go from there.
Sounds good. My meeting's at 8:15 in the morning. So I'll have to caffeinate early and be a morning person.
Well,
It's
look,
exciting.
I got things to do, and I just want to talk to you. Did you just do
Who
that?
thumbs downed me?
How did you do that? Did you do that?
Oh, it's me doing it.
Was it you? Because sometimes that happens in my videos, and I don't know if it's me because I don't have an iPhone.
Well, I was just sitting like this, and I
It's
think
usually
I did.
a gesture, right?
I thought. I don't know. I thought I did it.
Yeah, because my buddy, he sometimes things pop up, and I'm like, wait. I'm like,
Oh yeah, look, it did it.
so that's an iPhone feature.
Maybe, yeah. That's
So yeah,
pretty cool though.
we can definitely catch up and stuff because I know you had other stuff to talk about that we talked about in the past. But
Sounds good.
just want to touch base with you and see what's going on. It's kind of depressing seeing everything, you know.
I know, it's so sad. I'll send you the info on that. I hope you have a good night. I'm gonna get some sleep
Yeah,
before my meeting. See what my kid wanted.
yeah. I got work in the morning, so I'm gonna head to bed.
All right. Good night.
All right, Rebecca, you have a good night.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye bye.